As you build your formulas and work with functions inside of Excel, it is critical that you understand how Excel handles references to the cells that you include in your formulas. In the example you see on the screen, I have the value of 123 in cell A1, and let's just come beside it, the cell immediately to the right. So I am one column to the right, and I'm on the same row, and I'm going to type a formula that says equals A1. Now when I click to put that into the cell, it gives me the same value as A1 because it is a formula that's pointing directly at the cell. If I change this number, 125, then you see that B1 changes as well because whatever's in B1 is going to reflect what is in A1. And notice that I'm in the column immediately to the right of A1, so Excel remembers that. Excel says, okay, if we move this formula anywhere, then I have to remember that I am on the same row and that I'm one column over to the right of the original value. So here we go. We take this fill handle and let's just pull this down a few places. And we see that when we do that now, that the cell like B2 no longer refers to A1. The reason is very simple. I'm going to come up to Formulas and over to Show Formulas. And here's, you see the original formula, which says equals A1. So as I use the arrow key and come down, you'll see that Excel saw that I copied the formula down, and it saw that I brought it down one row, and there's nothing to stop it from changing. It's not going to change column A because I'm still copying downward in column B. As I copy the formula down, Excel looks at the value for the column and it says, hey, we're still just one column to the right of the cell that's being referenced, but now we've moved down by one row, so let's change the row to a 2, and then we copy it on down to row 3, and we get A3 and A4 and so on. And so we're getting exactly what Excel is built to do, and that is to refer to cells in a relative way. And this is what we mean by relative, that as I pull the formula down, that Excel will say, all right, I'm in the same column, so I won't change the column number. Now I've gone down by one row, so we'll change the row number by 1. And now I've gone down another row, so I'll change the row number by 1. This is relative cell referencing. So let's see what happens if we copy these in a different way. I'm going to turn off the Show Formulas, and we'll come back to B1, where we have that same formula, which is to equal A1. I'm going to grab the fill handle, and we'll just pull it over to about column E. And notice this way that whenever I fill the formula to the right, notice that the value of 125 remains. Well, let's see what's going on here. Instead of coming to the Formulas tab and clicking on Show Formula, there is a keyboard shortcut, and I just hit the Control and press the tilde key. And here we have the formulas. So it starts off in the column immediately to the right of A. And now as I copy the formula to the columns to the right, Excel keeps track of this. And it says, okay, you're copying this formula now to here. And the original formula was that we're always going to copy the column that is immediately to the left. And so right here when I came to C, the column that was immediately to the left was B. But I didn't change rows, and so the row number doesn't change. And when I copy the formula to D, then Excel sees that I still need to copy the formula that's immediately to the left, and that's going to be C in this case. And the reason that we still get the numbers 125 showing is because here in B1, I told it to place here the value that shows in 125. And so the value of B1 becomes 125. So when I copy the formula to C1, I'm telling Excel that I want the value that's found in B1, which was the value of 125 that it got from here. When I copy the formula over to D1, then I'm saying I want the value that's in C1, and right here, that's the value that we picked up from B1, which was 125. Excel's doing exactly what we're telling it to do. I'll turn off the formulas. This is called relative cell referencing, that as you move things around on the screen, as you fill these formulas, then Excel keeps track of where you are, how many columns, how many rows you are away from the cell that you are referencing. And if you don't tell Excel to stay put, if you don't force it to stay with a reference to a specific cell, then as you copy the formula, the references in the cell will change. And that could be a problem for you with formulas. In the next video, I'll show you how we can sort of nail down a reference to what we see in A1 so that whenever we copy these formulas in any way, that they will always refer to A1.